Without question, the film franchise I've received the most requests to rank is Peter Jackson's Middle-earth series. And so we're going to take 3 Lord of the Rings films, 3 Hobbit films, and we're going to rank all 6 of them from the worst to the best in under 5 minutes. Be sure to give me your ranking down below in the comment section. Tell me which ones you love, which ones you hate, have you seen the extended editions, and which ones were already too long and did not need an extended edition. With that said, let's get started. In last place is going to be The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies. Now, there are some cool action sequences in here. Some of the special effects are good, but I really don't think this is a very good movie. It feels like all payoff with no setup. There's not much story here because it's just the Battle of the Five Armies, and it takes what's just a few pages in a book and turns it into a 2-hour-long battle sequence, and some of it looks like it's straight out of a video game where people are jumping across bridges and stuff like that. So all in all, it does not really work as a movie because it depends so much on the previous films for setup. In 5th place is The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey. If Battle of the Five Armies had no setup, this movie is all setup. I mean, there's 15 minutes of just backstory exposition before the narrative even begins. And as you go along through the movie, there's an hour of them having dinner at Bilbo's house. And once it gets going, there's some great sequences and character moments. Peter Jackson is great with kind of these adventure, fantasy action sequences. But this movie just feels too stretched out, like they're taking a too small amount of a story and turning it into an epic movie. Coming in 4th place is The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. Of the Hobbit films, this one, to me, feels the most cohesive and comes together as a complete story rather than setup or payoff. This one has a clear destination we're trying to get to, and we have to go through a bunch of adventures to get there. Along the way, we bring in some elements that aren't in the Hobbit book, but I felt they fit pretty nicely in the film. My problem with the Hobbit films was that they took such a small amount of source material and turned it into a big epic, and so they had to add characters and sequences and expand things, and in doing so, the general feel of the book and that adventure got lost in trying to turn it into an epic with a massive battle at the end. The idea of it gets lost in it. Coming in 3rd place is going to be The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Now, there's a huge jump from number 3 to number 4. This is a very good movie. The battle at Helm's Deep is incredible in my mind. This is one of the best fantasy battles ever put on film. And the only reason this movie isn't higher up is that it feels a little bit like a middle chapter to me. We're on this big adventure and we see it started in one, completed in the next one. This one feels like the bridge between the two of them a little bit, and it loses a little bit momentum for me. And there's a few special effects that have never quite looked right to me, specifically the Ents. In 2nd place is The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. Now, this is such a great introduction to Middle-earth, where we meet such lively and fun characters that have such great chemistry. I mean, Peter Jackson really created something special in what he was able to create in this world and take such wonderful source material and actually bring it to the screen in a way that's believable. What I love most about this one is the fellowship itself and seeing the characters together setting up on an adventure to save Middle-earth. All in all, this is a very solid film. This is the one of the bunch I've rewatched the most times, and I strongly was tempted to put it in that top spot. But coming in 1st place is going to be The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. This is an example of a trilogy where the 3rd film absolutely works and it pays off everything that has been built up in the previous 2 films. So whether you're talking about Sam and Frodo on their mission and what that does to Frodo and where it kind of takes him in the end, if that's talking about Aragorn and his rise to fame and power and glory, if you're talking about building to an epic battle, multiple epic battles in the end, this movie works. It hits you right there in the heart on so many different levels: friendship, sacrifice, heroism. It's all in there and pays off on so many different levels. If I were to have some criticism in here, there's too many endings. It goes a little bit too long in the epilogues for me, but all in all, an incredible achievement. There's a reason it won a whole bunch of Oscars. It's a reason so many people love this movie. But really, all 3 of these Lord of the Rings films are excellent and they fit together very, very nicely. How about you? What did you think about it? How do you rank them? Tell me down below in the comment section. Give me your ranking. With that said, Also, if you're new to my channel, please consider clicking that subscribe button. I do movie reviews, TV reviews, ranking videos, hey, like the one you're watching right now. But the key thing is, I don't want to just talk about movies, I want to talk about movies with you. And as always, thank you for watching.